my process. I kind of wanted to give you guys an insight on where I think ES and NQ is going to be going. And I just wanted to let you guys know, like, there's a lot of, like, people that are like online that sell courses and mentorships, and you know, really all it is recycled information. But like, one thing that they don't really teach you to do is they don't teach you like how to understand the market sentiment and like really in depth understand what it is that we're looking at, right? Like, so I tell people sometimes, treat it like a game, and then there's some people that they can't treat it like a game because they'll just keep playing all day nonstop. And the market, you got to really learn to be patient, but some people need to treat it like a video game, right? And try to get that high score. And your high score in this case would be winning trades and, you know, not losing a round, but also growing your account value. But you'll see I got 4 charts set up here. So this is the daily, this is the hourly of the ES, NQ, this is the 15-minute, and this is another 15-minute. But you'll see like it's a little bit different, right? Like that one's kind of all over the place. This one's kind of really clean and simple. Now I usually use the hour, the daily, the 15 and the 5 minutes, sometimes the 3 or the 2 when I want to enter. But I'll explain that as we go. This is kind of like my episode 1. And so if you want access to these, so right here we can see. Here, you'll see this is on the daily. These arrows, these are my personal indicator, okay? So like when it's red, of course, sells look good. But when it's green, of course, buys look good. And you'll see we get nice moves. I mean, red, and it works perfect, right? So like let's turn that off. Notice anything here? Notice how it usually tends to respect. Now we're on the daily, so now maybe it might not look to you like, oh, that's not working exactly. But if you see these wicks or the body of the candle, they close right around that level multiple times, right? So you can definitely catch a trade on there. Now if we go to a smaller time frame, let's just go here. Notice this. Come up to the red line. As soon as it hits off the red line, can't break above it. Arrow fires, you could have caught a sell. From, if I had to guess, it probably didn't fire right here. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It'll fire probably about 4. So let's just say it fired here because I'm pretty sure I was watching this. I was actually watching this reject, 40.34. I actually had that exact set. And I actually got in a little early. But that's because I know how this works. I know how I trade. But I have a lot of members that actually and community people that like to use the arrows to know when to stay in and get in a trade. But notice, you would have been able to catch this from, we're just going to say it came in at like 40.25. I'm pretty sure it was like 40.30, but I'm just going to say it was 40.25 to give it the benefit of the doubt. And just, so keep in mind, whatever the calculation is, it's actually $5 more, but we're just going to say this. So could you imagine catching a move from 40.25 all the way down to at least 39.83? Or this other red line at 39.75. How many of you would love to catch a play like that? I mean, this is also futures, so options would work, stocks would work. I mean, you can use this on anything. Forex. Actually, let me give you guys an example real quick. So let's actually look at Bitcoin. Like, I want you guys to understand. Actually, we're gonna do it on this chart, this clean chart, because this only has my 2 indicators that I use. Notice how it works really well on Bitcoin as well. So what does green mean? Green means when it comes down to that level, it's possible to bounce, right? That's a level that is the support level. What does red mean? Well, we don't have red here, but if we maybe go with the hourly, maybe we'll have red. Should be some red like around here once it loads. Yeah. So this means it's a level that we might reject off of, or we're going to have a couple wicks too, right? So that's a good, before we get to that area, take profit. Now I know that this is a good zone, right? So where would I actually put my take profit? My take profit right here, 760. That would be my first take profit zone. You can see it matches up perfectly. The reason I say 760 is because I'm not going to hold it the whole way into that zone, right? Because like we're on the hourly chart. So if we actually went to a smaller time frame, we'll actually see that maybe that actually does match more. But that's besides the point. So let's go to the hourly real quick. We have a 22.885. Let's see. So if we go to 22885, you'll actually notice this right here. It's about the same exact level, but it's a more finer level. So if I see this on multiple time frames, now I'm probably assuming it's probably too far away to be here. Yeah, let's go to the 30 minute and see if it's there. It's probably there. Yeah, see? It's there on almost every time frame. So what does that mean? That means it's a valid level to be watching. Notice also the red and the green. Those are my personal indicators that, like I said, I use and I made. So if you want to get access to them, make sure to join my free Discord. It is free currently. Eventually, when we get it all set up, it will be paid and it will be a community, but it will still be free. But there will be parts of it like mentorships, trainings, and webinars that I will be hosting and teaching like this, but more in depth for the members. It'll be a small fee, and basically all that fee is going to do is go into like these things. If you guys have ever been in a Discord server before, there's a lot of tools when it comes to trading, right? Like think about these hedge funds and these managers. They have the top tier systems, right? Like without trading algos, and like they probably put hundreds of thousands into information on the stock market, right? Like they have everything. So without trading like that and having anything with you, what are you trading with? You're basically going in blind. So these indicators here are helpful for that. Now I will say that these two indicators here to get the sniper, which is the green and the red firing, and they actually work really good together. And you'll see they work so good. Like look, many times it hits off the line. These lines are already there, right? Like they're there from previous. I already have all the settings set up for you. But they're there, and you'll see what happens. It hits off the lines, sniper fires, and they work really good together. Look, fires, comes right down, hits the line, and continues to fall. I actually had a trade there. You can see right here. I don't know what the risk was. But I know it was at least like a 3-1. And I'm also going to teach you guys how to do trend lines. Like that's a very important thing. If you don't do trend lines, what are you doing? Okay, like I said, you don't want to go in blind. But besides that, let's go back to this chart. So I will say that there's a lot of people out there that do a lot of trading. Okay, and I want to explain something. You can be a guru online and you can teach people a simple trading strategy, but where they always seem to leave out, and it's really detrimental to you guys trading, is how to look at the market, develop a market sentiment, and be able to understand what's happening. Okay? If you can't do that, a trading strategy is probably not as valuable to you as you might think it is. So I kind of want to explain something here. So I'm sure a lot of you understand how to use EMAs to trade, right? That's like one of the first style of trading that you get when you get into trading. Does anyone notice anything with the MA? See how the market stays above it or below it for a while, goes above it. Now you'll see, I think this is my 50. Yeah, so my 50 MA is yellow and my purple is the 200. I personally like the 50 more than the 200. That's personal preference. Because usually when it breaks above or below, it stays above it for a while. But I don't know if anyone has caught it with this screen that I'm on. EMAs and MAs are only good and valid when there's a trending market. Let me explain. See here how it's just choppy up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, whatever, right? Here, kind of respecting it. It's kind of like just in it. It's not really doing anything here. Not above it, not below it. It's just constantly, right? But then we go over here. Breaks below, and then above, below, and above, right? Notice how when there's either an uptrend or a downtrend, it respects the MAs and the EMAs a lot more. See, it's using the 5. Another MA that I like is the 5 EMA. 5 is really good for using a trend. It's really good at basically knowing where we're going to bounce. So notice here, we're in a downtrend, but notice what the candles keep hitting off of. Mostly the 5, and then sometimes it'll come up to the 8. But it's mostly on the 5. And before it actually does get above the 5, it holds on the 5 for a while and then eventually gets above. So that's something that like MA and EMA traders don't really understand, is it works, but you need a trending market. You can't just have a market day where it's just all in, like right here. This would not be a good time. Monday to Tuesday here, between this day in this range right here. That's a no trade zone if you're an EMA trader. Now, you could argue, oh, let's take the 50 EMA reject. But look, it never hit. And now for you guys saying, well, the MA and EMA change, you know, like it's not exactly correct. Okay, but if we had a downtrend, it's going to pull the line down. Notice it still didn't hit. And that's another thing. These are lagging indicators. So that's a no trade zone. But let me show you one thing. Notice what we see right here. And now I'm really going to like show you guys this right here. What is that? Does anyone see this? It's a red line with a red arrow. Now, remember how I said I like to use them together? Notice this red arrow. This one right here. I'll get rid of that so you can see it. Notice how it fires after it broke below. But it was basically on the support line. It probably fired on the support line. And it did eventually break it. Now, let me explain to you why I would not take this trade. And this should come to you guys really easily as well. Like if you do start using these indicators, or you do really start following what I try to explain to you guys. If we zoom in, candle opens here. Sniper probably wouldn't have fired till probably about, somewhere around this line. Now, that's normally a good sign. I will take it if it starts firing after it breaks. I do not want to take it before it breaks that line, because that line will still be green, and I want it to hold, and I want it to stay below before it fires, right? And the candle will hold. So like I want you guys to be like, well, the candle appears after. No. The candle will appear while the candle is forming, and it will stay. It'll stay. If the candle closes and it was still firing, it will stay. But the reason why I wouldn't have gotten this trade, notice where my mouse is right now. Kind of almost the bottom of these two wicks. Do you see the body? Let me actually... Let me put it across here. Notice that. Let me actually put it as a line. And we'll put it thicker. Let's see, what color would be best? Black? No. We'll do white. Yeah, white seems the best. Anyway, I'll put it really thick. Notice how we come over here. What does it do? It hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Already. And that's just now. And if we go actually back further, we can see it hits another one. It would hit right here. Two more body of the candle closes. And even farther back, it would probably hit these wicks and bodies, probably somewhere around there, right? But that's what I mean by like going back. You're going to want to do your research before you just take a play. See what I'm saying? If you were normally taking that trade, you would get in that. You would have been like, I'm in it. We're going to drop. But you didn't do your research beforehand. That's why I'm saying you want to start with the higher time frame, work lower. I'll get into that in either later in this video or the next video. But I kind of just want to explain to you how these work, how these indicators work. But seeing that, I wouldn't have taken it. And you can even tell it's valid because look, it does it 2 more times. And then the bodies of the candle close, wicks to it. And then it finally breaks it. And then look what happens. Now, you MA traders would be like, well, I get in here, it breaks below, but then it comes back up, breaks above my stop loss. It would have came above, it would have wicked you out 1, 2, 3, 3 times, and you probably would have actually missed this because, if you're still chasing 5 after having 4 losers, it's probably not a good idea. You're probably going to be losing a lot of money. But of course, if you would have actually held and had a really loose stop loss, which I can tell you that's not a valid idea to have enter here and then your stop loss way up here. I mean that's a lot of money on options or futures or even forex if you're trading like that. But notice what does happen here. We come up to this level. Notice how this is another level. Now, if you actually were to go back, you can see this is another key level. We're kind of in between a range of consolidation. Now, you can do two things. You either don't trade when you're in consolidation, or you guess where the move is going to go. So when I'm in consolidation, I'll play a range. At the top of the consolidation, I'll play puts probably, or if I think it's going to break. You can usually do that by telling the candlesticks closing. And, well, that's actually what I did. I saw that, and then I actually did not enter here. I actually entered here. And you may ask, well, why did I enter here? Well, what I did is I saw a trend line was forming on a smaller time frame right here. So the stock starts coming down, comes into my zone. I'm like, okay, well, it's probably going to bounce off of here again, but I did not take it. Notice I didn't take it because, well, why would I? It's stupid to take that because there's no reason for it not to be able to break it now, right? We're still in consolidating. Anything can happen. So what did I do? Waited for it to come back up, hit the trend line, and I actually entered it. Once it started rejecting, I didn't enter it as soon as it hit the trend line. I wanted to see if it held the trend line down, and the arrow was still firing. So the arrow probably started firing here. So you could have entered here somewhere, right? Personally, I didn't, because I didn't see the arrow fire. I wasn't watching this exact chart. I was watching another time frame, smaller chart. This is on the hourly, by the way. Just want you guys to know this is the hourly. You can see that by the bottom. Count the candles. This is 6. This is 12. Should be 6 candles in between that time period. And anyway, back to what I was saying. So I entered somewhere around here. It was on this red candle on the downtrend. What did I do? I entered here, put my stop loss, kept it the same, and what did I do? I caught a huge move down right to here. And you may ask, well, why did I go to here and not keep holding? I only care about catching a small part of the move. I don't need to catch this whole move down, right? Now, what I could have done is waited for the opposite candle to fire. So basically, we're in a red enter. I can wait for the green. That's what a lot of our members do. But remember what I said. Use it with the lines. I took profit here. Another reason is, look where we are earlier. Notice once we did break it, we had a nice order block before we continued down lower. Now here is where you could have used the MAs. But it doesn't mean it wouldn't have popped back up because we're in this range again and then reject off of this line. So that's just something you want to be wary of and you want to watch when you're taking trades like that. And the sniper does catch a lot of moves, but this video is going to get put up. What I'm actually going to do is next video, be on the lookout for that. That's where I'm actually going to explain some more market and where I think we're going to go. You can actually see here on my hourly, my ES, I have a trend line, a long-term down trend line. So I'm thinking it's possible to hit 3,900. Again, 3,900. Let's go to NQ. What do we have? We already broke the long-term down. Here's the uptrend. Here's the downtrend. But we will notice one thing. This right here on this chart is another downtrend. Now, like I said, I have multiple different charts. These are my more simplified charts. We're going to get rid of the SR and the sniper. And this is what I mean. Like, you see how hard it is, like, to really understand this chart here? Let's go on the hourly. Like, what even is this? Right? Like, how are you gonna, this is actually a line that I've had, and I actually want you guys to add this. Since you guys have stayed and watched this video, this is really good for you guys to add. This will make you guys some money. 11,660 and 11,595. We have gotten in this range many times, and when we break it, we go above. But it's a really good reject level. Anytime it hits it, hits up into it, it will reject it. And then whenever it might consolidate in the period for a while, and it comes right back out the other side, you'll see it does here, it stays above it. Like, this is a really good zone. So if you start to understand how to use this and just look back when you add it, I want you guys to go back and just see how many times it enters it. Look at this. Look at all these trades I caught because of it. I caught that trade. And I just want you guys to see, these are just some of the trades I actually caught. I actually did not catch this one. I was too late. It did not come back up and fill me. But you'll see, I knew exactly. I had it actually before. I had it beforehand. Now, you may ask, why did I not catch this? When it comes to limit orders, at the time, I was doing Forex, and I forgot to realize that it's not the futures that you're going off of. So my limit order was off. Because it's like, I don't know, let's just see right here. So NQ is 12 right now, right? Well, look, see we're seeing NAS is actually 88. So we're $20, $30 difference. So if I had my order set right here at 169, you know, it's not going to fill me if it's that much lower than the other thing. And that's just, you know, that's my fault. I didn't realize that, but you'll see what happened. I caught another trade. And you're going to be like, well, how'd you catch this trade? Well, I'll show you. So, coming back up, what did I do? Well, you may not see it too much here, but if we go on a higher time frame like the daily, notice where all these go. Right here. They're all about the same area. It's a nice order block consolidation period. So what did I do? I put it in. Where did I put my stop loss? Guess where I put my stop loss? At the very bottom of this, where I thought, well, it was a little bit above it, because these are zones that it will usually hit and reject. So notice this wick right here. That's what I based my stop loss off. See? Stop loss. 105. But I will say these move over time, so that's probably not exactly where I had it. Sometimes I never lock them in place, even though I probably should. But you'll see it worked perfectly. Now, I didn't actually hold it the whole way. That was my original take profit, and you see it would have worked. But I whipped out, and I actually sold it like 963 because it was consolidating, and I didn't want it to come back up and break above. So I took profit. Then what happened? It broke down. I saw another level. Came up. I got in right here. I set my level, my entry point here. And what I usually do is when I see the trade, that's when I add it. So right here is probably when I saw the trade. And then we see I filled in, you know, a few days later. That's when I actually got filled. And when I got filled, it didn't go much up my stop loss. So basically 0 drawdown and a perfect exit. It's a 1.63. Now, the reason I have my stop loss up here is this was just a really good key level that I liked. But it doesn't mean that had to be my stop loss. My actual stop loss could have been like 774. You know, and that's a 7.4 ratio. But this is what I had originally planned. Because I was trading lightly and I was like, okay, you know, like that's a 1.6, you know, it's pretty much a guaranteed setup. So I took it. And you'll see some more of my setups. This line, I went to the wick. So this is my zone, but I see my wick. So what did I do? I was consolidating and I said, we're probably going to come up here, but I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to do this line again, place it here. What did I do? Placed it, got filled. Basically 0 drawdown. And what did I do? I targeted this. So I actually targeted just above this wick here. Got filled. That's a 2.6. Here's another one. This was a buy. I actually caught this because of these wicks. So what was that? That was a 3.5. And it filled. So that was 2 trades in a period, in like a week or 2 time frame. Imagine catching 3.5 and like a 2, right? And a 2.5. That's a 6. Wait, actually, I might be stupid. Yeah, that's a 6. Imagine 6 timesing your whatever you risk. So if you risked $1,000, but you made $6,000 in a week or 2, right? And the reason why I say a week is 26 to the 3rd. That's probably a week of trading, somewhere like that, about a week and a half, whatever. But you get what I'm saying. Like if you have a $100,000 account, you're risking 1% per trade, and these equal a 6 ratio. Like that's what you won. So you risked $1,000 to make 6, and I just that like in a week, $6,000 is nice. Anyway, back to our trend line. Like I said, make sure to add 11,650 and 11,595. And you see, I could have took trades off this many different times, but I didn't. That's because that's when I started more scalping. And you see, I plan out ahead of time before it happens. So when we were here, I was planning what could happen. If we fail to push above, we're gonna drop. But then we pushed above. 11,190. And you'll see we pushed above it here. But I knew if we didn't, we were coming down in this range. And we finally broke above that 650, hit the long-term trend line, broke right through it. Came back down, contested it. Contested this level. The 600 to 650 I was telling you guys about. And then what happened? Continued to push higher. Now, do you want to say, I think it is possible for us to start a downtrend now. So, what does that mean? Well, I'll show you. Let's go here on the daily. Notice how we're actually pushing down. Where do I see us coming to? Personally, I think, I guess I don't have an arrow, but now I do. I think we're going to come down to this level. And then, what happens if we hit this level? That's when either this will happen, or this will happen. Right? And that's what I want you guys to understand is when it comes to the market, no one really knows, right? But these are just, definitely things that will happen. So we're going to find out. Now, I am posting this video. Today is the 26th. You can see right here. So, we will find out what happens. Personally, I think we could do either or. But, more than likely, I am liking a push down, little bounce off this area, come back up possibly to, 12,000, 11,950, and then coming back down. And we probably will see 11,200. That's what I'm looking at, 11,200. But let's go back to the hourly. Let's see how the candles are forming. Something I would like to point out in the weekly. When we are trading, you got to look at the weekly candle. On the weekly, we're still in a downtrend, right? But just because we're in a downtrend does not mean we can't come up. So I'm suspecting it's possible for us to get another push back up to 12.1. We're at 12,016 now. There's no reason we can't hit 12.1, maybe even 12, 2, 175 in this area. you know, and then continue down. And then the candle might close around this level, 11.8. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for us to close this weekly candle around 11.8 at least to see more downside or below that. Okay, that's what we want. We want this weekly candle at least 11,800. We want it to close below that or at that 800 level. If it closes above it, that's not too good for us. If you're a bear, if you're a bull, it's not too good either, because the market could still come down, but it's just, it puts us in a weird spot where I probably won't trade too much. But anyway, it's kind of like a little explanation of the sniper and the SR. A little bit of information there at the end of what I think we could see. And I did kind of give you guys information about the chat. It is free. It is just for the community, for the YouTube, and kind of for you guys to give ideas together. Maybe we can all get together, get better, become better traders, because at the end of the day, that's all it's about. It's helping each other. I mean, I know a lot of people like to fight about each other. Like, I'm a trader, you're a trader. We got to see who's better. But at the end of the day, we should all be working together. We should all be working to beat the hedge funds and these big market makers. And yeah, you know, like that's just something we got to do. And you know, we should want everyone to be profitable. We should want, you know, each other, your friends, family, community members. Excuse me, sorry. We should want each other to be profitable, right? Because at the end of the day, we got to put food on the table for our families, right? And I know a lot of people like to, you know, when you do a job, or you know, you like to be competitive, but sometimes you just got to have fun, and you got to be nice. And I tell you, when you get to that point and you start having a lot of fun, and you take a little bit of the competitive aspect out of it, a lot of those simple mistakes or like over trading issues that you have start to go away, because it's not really a competition between each other. It's a competition between yourself. And that's something I want you guys to think about until the next video comes out. Anyway, that's just a little bit of information I have regarding this. Let's see. I'm going to show you guys a couple more of my charts as we go. Give you a little bit of idea where the SR is pointing. But notice we did break the trend line. But where does it go to now? It's 39.11. Like I said, 3,900-ish area is what I'm looking for anyway. And then on NAS, what did we say? Exactly. 11.6, 11.8, you know? And if you compare, NAS is about $6 move per ES 100, right? So, $600 move, $400 to $600 move would put us pretty much almost at this area. At that 910 or whatever level, you know, it would put us around this purple box, and we have already seen what the purple box has done for us in the past. So I think that is valid, but like I said, it is a weekly, so we could see a little push back up to this level, if not at least the 12,100 level. And you notice I didn't see the SR at the 12,100 level when we were on the weekly chart, but notice we're in the hourly. Notice what pops up. Let's check the 2 hour. And the 4 hour. And the daily. So the daily shows 120. Remember, the weekly has nothing. It has up here 200. But like I said, that's what we could see. I don't see a problem with us pushing up to, you know, 100 easily. You know, 175 to 200. You know, like that's possible. But I also do see this. I kind of want this candle to be, you know, this week to be down here somewhere. I want it to at least hit in this area right here. Let me get a trend line. I want to see it break I actually want to see a little wick below. So we'll put other than that, it's pretty much the video for the first one. I kind of hope you guys understood some stuff. Hope you guys want to join the chat. I will post it in the description. Other than that, it's your boy Slay out. It's your boy Slays, and I'm out. I should say. Sorry, I'm really tired. I got a sore throat. But I wanted to get this video out to you guys. Even though it's my first one, it's probably going to suck. You know, I got to get a groove. But I really thought that this was some important information I had to get out there. Like, definitely make sure to add on NQ the NASDAQ futures 11,600 and 11,595 and 11,650. Make sure to add that and do some back tests, go back and find how it moved. Other than that, yeah, I'm out. Peace.